I've decided I'm going to give myself one more year to grow my small business. So I very recently set up a small business on Etsy selling my art. So it has been 1 month since I opened up my Etsy shop. Yeah, as of right now, I am currently owing money. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing my first convention as a small business owner. I'm really scared. Are you kidding? There are 4 days left of February and I still haven't had a single Etsy order this month. I really don't know how to start this. Ugh, jeez. This is a weird one. It's gonna be very personal, which is why I'm sitting on my living room floor and not in my office, because I thought it just felt a little more personal. And you know, for me in my life, most of my life-changing stuff has happened while I've been sitting on the floor, usually curled up into a ball, but this'll do. This might be quite rambly, but it's a very personal video. It's not my usual kind of video at all. I feel like chasing a dream, it's kind of always romanticized, but when I started chasing my dream, I realized very quickly that it's not as magical and inspiring and amazing as it's always made out to be, not just from people on TikTok, but even in like movies and TV shows. We're always shown that like chasing a dream is like, you know, there's like there's a little down period they go through and then they get everything they've ever wanted and it's like, oh my god, wow, and like that's just not how it works in real life. And I think chasing my own dreams and really going for the things that I want in life has showed me that it's like even harder than I ever thought it would be. I also want to preface this video by saying I'm not having like a little pity party. I'm not here, you know, to be a downer. I'm not here to be like, feel sorry for me, blah blah blah. I'm not trying to be pessimistic at all. In fact, I want to be optimistic. It's just a real talk, that's it. I started my business 3 years ago now, at the end of 2021, so I'm coming up on 4 years of having a business in September. And I did not expect to be where I am still 4 years, almost 4 years later. And what I mean by that is like, I'm not even making part-time income from my small business, and I always knew it would take a while. I never really believed the people who are online and who are like, oh, grow a business in like a month and get 6 figures in a month. I was like, that's probably not going to be realistic for me anyway, because I'm an artist. I do all of the art myself. I create everything myself. I edit all my videos. I'm a one-man band essentially. I do everything. I was like, I don't even have the skills to be able to like do that anyway. I've never owned a business. I don't know much about running a business. I never really thought it would be easy. I always kind of figured it would take a while. My issue is that for some reason in my head I had it that it would only take me 3 years, and it hasn't. And I thought by the 3-year mark I'd be seeing, you know, part-time income. Maybe I could even start thinking about going full-time. I'm coming up to 4 years and I'm still not even making part-time income from it. And a lot of that is down to me wanting to put money back into my business and all of that stuff, but it still hurts. It's still not a nice realization that I'm not even close to being full-time with my business. I like my job, my full-time job, I do. The issue is it's so hard growing a business while you're working. I am so tired. I really am. I don't like to admit it because it makes me upset to admit it, because I love what I do. Oh god, don't start crying. But I'm tired and I feel weak for it as well, because there are people who work for like 10 years straight and I should not have worn makeup for this, oh god. And they still keep going, and I know a lot of them go through burnout. A lot of YouTubers go through burnout as well. Like, it's a fun job, but that doesn't mean burnout will never happen. You can love what you do and still get tired of it. Those things can coexist. But I am tired, and this is not me saying I'm gonna quit my small business, by the way, guys, don't worry. That's not what this video is about. But I was thinking to myself recently, how long can I realistically keep going for while also working full-time? While also trying to grow? Because I'll be honest, if you don't know me, if you're new here and this is the first video you're watching, I'm sorry for a start. It's gonna be a messy one. You picked a hell of a time to join. When I started my business, I didn't have a job. I went full into my business, just put everything, I spent all my waking hours towards my business essentially. The first few months were quite quiet. They were just me learning how to do things, getting into a schedule with like YouTube and social media and learning new things, and it was slow. But towards the end of the first year into the second year, I started to see a lot of growth, like a lot of growth. Like it felt so good. I was getting a lot of orders, my YouTube was going really well. I think like at that point I was monetized on YouTube. I was seeing the most views I've ever seen on YouTube at that point. I was getting more orders than I'd ever seen at that point, and I was making pretty okay money. It still wasn't like full-time, or not even at that point part-time income, because I was so small at that point that everything I got had to go back into the business. But it was really good. It felt really good, and I kept thinking to myself, oh my gosh, what in like 2 years time, like imagine what's gonna happen, and in 3 years time imagine how big I'll be then. And I think because I had that high, I didn't think it would go back down, and it did. I really, at that point, because I wasn't making part-time or full-time income, I had to get a job. So I definitely struggled a bit to keep up with like my YouTube schedule, because beforehand I was able to just put everything into my business. I was able to spend every waking hour making videos, editing videos, uploading them, putting out Instagram posts, making products for Etsy. Like I was just constant, and things were growing very quickly because of that. I was able to do market stores and conventions because I wasn't having to work around any other schedules in my life. And to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, things started going very, very downhill when I started a job. And I've been working full-time in offices since then. And I love the job that I have now. I do. It literally couldn't be easier. I get to work from home and everything, so I do feel a bit silly like even complaining about it, I guess. But it's still never gonna be the same as what it was when I was able to put my full energy into this. I'm competing against so many other amazing small businesses that are full-time. It's hard because even like YouTube, I feel like the first year or two with YouTube, I never missed an upload. Recently, this past year or so, when I've been working full-time, I feel like it's quite constant that I miss a week or two here and there, and it's not the end of the world. But then I feel like I come back, and when I make videos about small businesses and I'm trying to get things done, I only have a certain amount of days a week, usually 2 days a week, to do everything I want to do, to vlog, to make Instagram posts, to design products, to make products at home, to, you know, it's all of it in 2 days, while I'm also trying to navigate like social life, going to the gym, trying to be healthy, trying to look after myself and take breaks at the same time. And it's just like, so it's a lot, and I'm not seeing anything come back from it. It's a lot of struggle without the reward, and that sucks. For the first time, I think it was like December time, I actually decided to record one of my low points. This was a very big low point for me. I hadn't had an Etsy order for like weeks, and it was Christmas. I wasn't seeing any growth. My YouTube wasn't doing very well. I again had seen that high, and since then it just felt like I was going down and down and down, and so I decided to film this. I'm gonna try to describe how I feel, but I don't know if it's gonna come across very well, or like if it will come across at all. I feel like nothing I do is good enough. And it's not that I don't think I'm good enough, I just genuinely don't know. I feel like everything I do is wrong. And then I try really, really hard, and then I think maybe I'm trying too hard. Maybe I need to like cut back a little bit and care a little less. And then I do that, and things still don't get better. And I'm like, okay, when I try too hard, it's not good enough. And then when I don't try at all, it's still not good enough. And I'm like, what do I do? What's the secret here? I just fail all the time. I don't know what I've got to do, or what I'm doing so wrong that I just can't seem to be on the same level as everyone else. I feel like I've been trying to grow a business for like 3 years now, and I just feel like everything is going downhill, and I don't really know like why or how to fix it. And I've tried so hard, and I've cared for so long. It's just, I don't know how much longer I can do it for without seeing the results that I want to see. I'm not even close. Am I just working towards a dream that is never gonna become reality? Is it literally just that? Is it literally just a dream? Is that all it will ever be? Am I gonna have to constantly see what I want in my head but never see it in real life? I feel like no matter what I try, it's just like it never is good enough, and it never works out. And I'm always behind. I've always been behind everyone else, and I'm just, I wish someone could just give me like
a step-by-step instruction manual on how to like actually succeed at life because I'm struggling.
That was probably the most vulnerable I've ever felt. And the reason that I filmed that was because I wanted to, I guess, kind of actually capture what I was feeling in the moment, because I feel like I'm very real with you guys. I like to show the reality of growing a business, how hard it can be, the achievements, the struggles, everything in between. But it's hard to like really portray how it can make you feel. Like if I have a moment like that and then I talk about it in a vlog a week later, those emotions aren't there. You don't really see what I was feeling in the moment. And as weird as it was to hold a camera to my face when I was upset, it also, I felt kind of good. I felt like I had rented it out a little bit. So it did help me as well. I wasn't sure if I was ever going to really use it, but I think now is like a good time. I kind of started documenting those low points. I actually realized, looking back on these, a lot of what has made me, I guess, question whether I should keep going on out with my small business is a lot of outside stuff as well. I probably chose to start a small business at the worst possible time in the world, because only a few years after growing my small business, I can no longer sell to the EU because of all of the like the regulations. You need like a representative in the EU and everything, and then only like I think maybe a couple months later Trump was like, hey everyone, enjoy some tariffs. That didn't help. That made me feel very bad.
I'm just having like, I don't know, I just saw someone on Instagram talking about how tariffs have been introduced into the US now, and I haven't really looked into it much. Obviously I know there's been some changes. I'm not entirely sure now that it's actually been put in place. I'm not entirely sure exactly how it's going to affect me, if it will affect me. I do need to look into it more, but I already just feel like so demotivated. And like news, honestly, I mean, I don't get enough orders as it is, and the fact that I can't ship to Europe anymore and now it's looking like I might struggle to ship to the US, I'm like, what is the point? Like, who am I shipping to at this point? I don't know what to do. Like that's literally like billions of people now that I can't promote to, that I can't ship to, that I've been closed off from, and I'm already struggling enough as it is. I don't know, like I already been struggling to want to keep going. I keep thinking like, oh, it would be so nice to have my, you know, days after work. It'd be so nice to have those hours back where I'm not spending them editing and making products or doing product launches and putting all my time and energy and love into them only for them not to work. I keep trying to remind myself of the reason I started this business, and I've been poor. Like I grew up very, you know, always struggling for money, never having money. And a lot of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is so I can have more money, because not just for me as well, but because I want to make sure that my family can have like a good life and they can, you know, don't cry. Don't cry. I wanted to, like, you know, maybe this is like shooting for the stars a little bit, but my hope was one day, like, maybe I could, you know, buy my mom a house, or like take her on holiday to Japan, something she's always wanted to do because we've always struggled for money. And it's like, I started this business because I wanted that chance to like make a better life for myself. And, you know, I've always loved art and I've always loved YouTube, and I always thought like, you know, doing vlogs and making YouTube videos would be, you know, what I do in the end, and I do love doing it. I just feel like everything's against me right now, and I already wasn't getting orders. How can I expect myself to come back from that when everything and like is just pushing against me? And working like so much every day. Like I finish an 8.5-hour shift and I go and I do 4 hours of editing and then more work on top of that, and then on the weekends I'm just working all the time. And fair enough if I'm working that much and seeing progress, but working that much and seeing nothing in return is like so hard. And I feel like people don't talk about how hard that is. Say, what am I working so hard for? I'm working this hard and not getting anything back out of it. And this is what I keep thinking, like maybe I should just stop. Maybe I should just quit. Maybe I should just give up, because nothing is coming from what I'm doing, and I keep trying to change my strategy, I keep trying to improve things, and nothing seems to be getting better, and it just sucks. And I feel like, especially a lot of my vlogs recently have been so negative, but I just can't, like, I'm not the kind of person where I can just pretend to be happy either. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to pretend like running a business or growing this business has been all happy and smiles, because it has been so hard. I love it. I love what I do. I find it fun, but it honestly feels like more like a hobby than a business right now. It feels like I'm just doing a hobby. Like I can't get sales, and now every country in the world is like I'm not able to ship to like half the countries in the world. You know, it's like, how can I be positive?
I feel like when it was just the EU, I was like, okay, that sucks. That sucks. But then the thing with America happened, and I was like, that is very demotivating. And I remember thinking at the time, like, I felt helpless. I already felt like I was failing my business. I already felt like I was questioning whether I'd ever even be able to achieve it. I was feeling like maybe I just was never meant to be great, and that feeling sucks. Like I just kind of was like, maybe I just don't have it in me. Maybe I just can't be the person that I want to be, the person that I spent years like vision boarding and manifesting and trying all those things that people tell you to try. Like maybe I'm just not meant to be that person. And on top of that, I also was struggling a lot with burnout. I realized that even with a 4-day work week, which I'm very lucky to have, I was struggling so much to just have the energy to spend on my small business. I really was.
So it's 6 o'clock. I've been at work since 7:30 this morning. I started my full-time job at that time, as I do every day, and I finished at 4, and it's 6:15. So I've been working pretty much all day, and I'm currently editing. This is a pretty average day for me. I'll probably be working for like another hour or so. I've still got like 2 hours of footage to edit down, so that speaks for itself, I guess. It's so weird because like you can love what you do, but even if you love it, it still tires you out. And it's like, if I could just not be so tired all the time, that'd be great. I really try to prioritize breaks, but the harsh truth, I guess, that I've learned is that growing a small business while working full time is honestly like, it's so hard. When I wasn't working full time, I was seeing growth like no other. When I started working again full time, I started seeing things dropping off, orders dropping off. YouTube seemed to not be doing so well anymore. Instagram's never really done well for me, let's be real. But like, even my short form content, I'm just like, it's because I can't post every single day, and I can't keep on top of everything every single day. And I don't, even when I'm vlogging and stuff, I don't have the privilege of time to like get the footage that I need to make things more interesting. I don't have the time to spend an extra 6 hours on a vlog making it really like look really good. And it's one of those harsh truths that I've had to realize, I guess, is like growing a business while working full time honestly feels near impossible. It really does. It feels so draining. And like, I have a good job. I like my job. People that I work with, I work from home. I only have a 4-day work week. Like, I literally couldn't have it easier. And I thought I'd manage better than what I am, but I'm not. Like, I still struggle a lot to like make videos interesting. At one point, man, I was doing so well when I wasn't working full time. Like, I was growing beyond belief. But now it's like I don't grow anymore. Like, I don't grow half as much as what I used to, and it's like, it's so tiring. I think that's the hard part about it as well, is like, it's not impossible, you can do it, but it's like it costs you so much, like your energy, your time, like everyone I work with, they go home and they just get to relax and do their own thing, and I don't have to, but I more than anything, I want my dream to succeed. I want my business to succeed. And like, so yeah, I kind of have to after work, I have to sit here for another 3-4 hours after I finish my full-time job, after I finish an 8.5-hour shift. Every single time I have to add an extra 4 hours on, so it's like I'm working all day, maybe getting like an hour before bed to relax, and that's it. And it's like, it's so tiring. It's so tiring.
Don't get me wrong, I feel like lately I've been feeling a lot better than what I was when I made some of those clips. I've made a lot of changes.
Hello guys, I upgraded and now I have this. I haven't really tested it, so I don't know if it's working, but I do feel slightly better. And I'm kind of convinced half of why I felt so bad was down to seasonal depression. Now, hear me out. I've never had seasonal depression before. Not really. I think it really hit me this year because on top of having, on top of like the weather just being bad and cold and raining all the time, it was constantly grey in Britain. It was awful. On top of that, I wasn't getting any orders. I wasn't really growing on social media. I wasn't really getting anything out of it. So I guess that the bad weather on top of that just wasn't a great combination. I do feel slightly better. I also feel slightly better because I've decided I'm going to open a Shopify and I bought a domain. I've been feeling slightly better because I feel like I've been getting more orders recently. Like I did a massive clearance sale, so that's brought in some orders. Also, my mini launch was actually more successful than my actual proper launch, which is crazy, but that made me feel better as well. Because I've only been selling on Etsy and I've only been focused on Etsy, and it's like I shouldn't have really done that. I should have been more focused on starting a Shopify. I was just always too scared to do it because it felt like such a big jump because Etsy's a marketplace and Shopify isn't, and I'd be on my own, I guess, if I did that, but I should have just opened one anyway, and it could have, who knows, I could have been further ahead by now. Also, I feel like I reached 100 products on my shop, and I'm not gonna lie, that also really helped for some reason. I feel like just knowing that I have triple digits in like products on my shop actually really helps. I also hit 600 sales on Etsy. And since I hit 600 sales, I've been getting pretty steady sales. So I'm pretty hopeful I could maybe even reach like 700 soon. Hopefully, if things keep going well. So I do feel a lot better. However, I'm still not quite there yet. I feel like mostly like Instagram and YouTube, like I feel like I'm not really growing on there as much as I could be, which is fine because there are ways to combat that. Like I guess since I've been feeling down, I haven't been as on top of things as what I should have been. I do feel a lot better, and I feel like I'm ready to tackle this next year. My goal is to have at least part-time income from Abinova, because right now I don't make anything from Abinova right now. I literally put everything back into my business. Do I have to do that? No. Could I take some money from it? Yes. I just don't want to because I'm still growing it. It just feels pointless. Like it wouldn't be a lot of money for me anyway. Like I have a full-time job. I don't need that money. So of course it's going to go back in Abinova. But this time next year, if I could get part-time income from Abinova as well as it, sustaining itself, that would be amazing. And then the year after, maybe in the 4th year, I could go full-time and that would be awesome.
But yeah, I just feel like I'm not where I thought I'd be, and that's not always wrong. I know people say a lot of the time like just enjoy the journey, everyone grows at different rates. However, the issue with that saying is that sometimes you're not always growing, sometimes you go backwards, and it's really hard to enjoy a journey when you just feel stuck, when you're stuck in the same place and you're not moving forward, or worse, if you feel like you're going backwards, if you feel like you're growing down somehow, And I feel like when it comes to having those down times where you're not getting as many orders, maybe you're not growing as much as you want, maybe you just can't seem to like create content that people care about, or you can't market yourself properly, you're just struggling in all areas, and just like nothing's happening, you just feel stuck, like you can't go back up no matter how hard you try, and it's really hard to enjoy the journey and I guess not compare yourself to people as well. It's when you're just not growing and you're just not seeing anything in return for all the efforts. I really do look back to my first year, and while I've grown a lot in terms of product design, I feel like my videos are twice as good as what they used to be. I have grown, definitely, I can see that. But my business itself, am I making more money than I was like 2 years ago? Not really. Not by much. Not by as much as I would like. And that might sound a bit selfish to some people, but I'm not happy with where I am. I'm really not. I feel like working full-time has definitely, I don't want to blame it all on working full-time, but honestly, it kind of started when I started working full-time alongside growing a business. And that's fine. Things can go down, but it never really came back up. And that sucks. The feeling of like having that high and then going down again, it's like it's not fun, especially when you go down and you don't come back up. That sucks. I'm not saying I'll never go back up. Hopefully at some point I'll go up and I'll go way further than I was. But it's hard when it's so constant, it feels like. And everyone does grow differently. I absolutely get that. but it still doesn't make the hurt go away. It doesn't necessarily make it better just to know that everyone grows at different rates. It's a good way to remind yourself that things can still get better, but it doesn't necessarily make things easier either. I still have this lingering feeling in my chest of like, I don't know if I'll ever reach this goal that I want. I still have these doubts now. When I started, there was no doubt in my mind that I could do it, really. I don't know whether it was just being naive or just hopeful or what, but now that I'm like in the thick of having a business and I know what goes into having a business and all that stuff, I just feel like I'm not, maybe I'm just more realistic, I guess. I'm not sure, but the hard part is that I've got to make a decision now, because working full-time is very hard and I can't not work full-time. I got bills to pay, unfortunately. I don't have a choice but to have a job, but that's tiring. It's very, very tiring. I've had a full-time job for like 1.5 years now. Realistically, I had to ask myself, how long can I keep doing this? The answer was probably 1 year, maybe 2 if I'm pushing it. I'm still only 3 years into this. I know a lot of people grow within the 4th or 5th year. I totally respect that, but it's not a nice feeling when I'm working so hard and just not seeing the rewards. If I'm not even making part-time income yet, how long until I can even go full-time with this? I've decided I'm going to give myself 1 more year to grow my small business. It's so scary because it's just like, I've spent so many years wanting this, and like the thought of it just not happening is so scary. And I know it would be my choice to give up, or I guess not give up but just call it quits. I don't really know, but being realistic with myself, I guess, like I can't physically keep doing this to myself. I can't wait another 3 years of working full-time and growing a small business and never having enough time for myself, never being able to relax. I just realistically, I can't in 3 years time still be in the position that I am now. It's just, I love what I do so much. The thought of it not working out is terrifying. I'm not saying that in 1 year's time, if I'm not full-time with my business, that I'm gonna quit. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm giving myself basically like a goal. For this next year, for these next 12 months or so, I am going to be working hard to grow my business, to open that Shopify and see how that does, to maybe do some more markets and conventions at some point, to see how I feel about my life in general. This feeling, as you saw, those videos weren't just all done in a month. It's been honestly closer to like 7-8 months now. I've not been feeling good about my business. Probably longer, actually. I think honestly it's almost been 1 year of just feeling like things are going downhill and it's not working out and things aren't going the way that I want them to, and I'm just trying to be realistic with myself. I feel like in the past couple months I've made some big changes with my small business. I've really pivoted my product designs. I've upgraded them a lot. I think the products that I make now are like 10 times as better as what I was making like 1 year ago even. I'm a lot happier with them. I'm opening a Shopify. I'm very excited for that. I think that could be something really great. I potentially might open a Patreon, but that's another thing about having a full-time job, is like even like other opportunities like Patreon, like doing, you know, live streams and stuff as well. It's like I don't have the time to do those things that could bring in other kinds of money like revenue and stuff, and doing more market stalls. I don't actually physically have the time to do those things, so that I'm missing out, you know, growing my business in other areas. And that's why having a full-time job has impacted having a business so much. And again, I love what I do. I'm very lucky. I think the job that I have is honestly, it's the best it's gonna get, really. But it is tiring. I'm trying to give myself a goal to work towards this year, because I feel like for so long I felt so uncertain about where I'm going. And I think giving myself a year, it's like a deadline, right? It's a bit more urgency. It's like, okay, I've got a year to make this work. If it doesn't, I've really got to reassess if I want to keep going, if maybe just even completely getting rid of Aminova and starting fresh with a new business. I don't know, but I want to give it 1 more year, really kind of flourish. And again, this isn't me having a pity party. This is just a realistic talk about kind of what it's like chasing a dream, how hard it's been for me, and how I'm tired of being stuck. I'm tired of not seeing the growth that I want. I haven't had like I haven't had something really good happen for me in my business in a while. It's been a while, you know. I feel like I have more bad days than good, and the only thing that keeps me going is Your guys' encouragement keeps me going quite a lot. I really appreciate you guys, the community we've made, the support you guys give me. Honestly, it's incredible. I really appreciate what I've grown, and me wanting to grow further isn't me trying to diminish what I've already done. It's nothing like that. I acknowledge I've done good things. I acknowledge I've, you know, grown my business quite a lot. If anything, I've just created a community that I love, that you guys, I'm so glad that I've been able to be realistic with you guys, to help you guys. You guys often tell me that I've helped you to see things in a more realistic light, that I've inspired a lot of you, and that in itself is such a great achievement. Like, I am not diminishing any of that. Me wanting to grow doesn't change what I've done, you know? It's just, realistically, I can't work full-time and grow a small business for the rest of my life. At one point or another, I have to say, if it's not going to turn full-time, I have to move on with my life, you know? That's not, again, I'm not saying in a year's time I'm going to walk away from my business. I just want to really reiterate that point. I just want to kind of give myself that goal, and at that point see how I feel about it. It's kind of giving myself that time limit to really push my business, but also if it gets to the end of that time limit and I'm still feeling the same way that I felt for an entire year now, it's not working. Something needs to either something needs to change, or I need to walk away, because I can't keep going the way I'm going, you know? I've gone from working in a small bedroom when I lived with my mum to having my own office. I've gone from having 7 products on my shop to having 100 products on my shop. I've grown a lot. I have, but it really is time to take it to the next step. And if I can't by this time next year, it's time to assess what my business, if this business is even going to be feasible. There's a lot that can happen in a year, and I hope you guys will stick with me, or if you're new here, I hope you will join me and we can grow our small businesses, or if you're not growing a small business, we can just chase our dreams together. I really hope this time next year things are different in a good way. We'll have to see, but I'm glad that I had this talk with you guys. It's been quite vulnerable, but I think it was needed. One more year. I'm giving myself one more year to chase my dreams, to change my life. Yep, that's not stressful at all. If any of you guys have felt the same way recently, or maybe you've been considering the same stuff, please leave comments, please support each other. I don't want this to just be a case of me talking at you guys. I want you guys to talk at me back. Leave comments. Talk about how you've been feeling recently. Is your business going really well? Is it going badly? How are you feeling about things like tariffs coming in? What have you been struggling with recently? You guys support me so much, and I want to support you guys too. And I want you guys to support each other. So let's all come together in the comments and let's chat. Thank you guys for listening. And I will see you guys back here next year. Or I'll just see you in the next video, whatever you choose.